If you're a mom who's running on empty, who's barely keeping up with her family, and who's crashing even after the smallest stress, this message is for you. We totally understand what you're going through because we lived it. There was a time when Ginger was so exhausted that she was homeschooling our kids while laying on the floor. She was too tired to even sit up. Cooking a meal for her family, too much energy. Going on a weekend trip out of town to see family, it would take her 1 to 2 weeks to recover from that. She couldn't even exercise without crashing for days afterwards. Sleep was poor. Digestion was a mess. She was feeling irritable and overwhelmed. And to be honest, it was starting to put a strain on our marriage. But today, everything has changed. Ginger is full of energy. She homeschools upright with enthusiasm. She exercises several times a week without the crash. She creates meals in the kitchen instead of relying on fast food. She can travel without spending weeks in recovery. And our marriage, stronger than ever. So if you're a mom right now thinking, it's too hard to improve my health, or maybe I've already tried everything and nothing works for me, then stay tuned because you'll want to see exactly how Ginger went from feeling like she could never get enough sleep to waking up feeling refreshed and energized and having no energy to even sit up to having energy to get things done without the crash. Maybe you're someone who's thinking, I've been to doctor after doctor and they've all told me that the problems are all in my head. Or maybe they've told you that's just the way your body is. Or maybe they've said that's just a symptom of getting older. Well, listen to Mrs. M. All of my life, I was told by many different doctors that my stomach issues, reproductive issues, and daily migraines were just part of who I was, and that there was no cure for any of it. They provided no help. Then I met Dr. Sharp. Dr. Sharp provided so much education, so much encouragement, and so much hope. Dr. Sharp guided me through personalized detox protocols and helped all the issues that I had struggled with for so many years. Or maybe you're thinking, I would love to exercise and I would love to go for walks with my family, but I just have no motivation and no energy. Well, listen to Mrs. T. I did about 25 minutes of yoga today and 45 minutes of walking at the park. I do feel more energetic and motivated to get some exercise. Before I started this process, I had zero energy and felt labored to even get off the couch. So again, if you want to see exactly how I helped Mrs. M and Mrs. T, then stay tuned and I'll show you the Discover Health method. So how did we get where we are today? Well, it wasn't just by luck or by guessing. We used the Discover Health method, which is a step-by-step process that helped us identify what we call Ginger's energy vampires, the toxins, infections, stressors, and emotional weights that were draining her at a cellular level. We followed a proven path to gently detoxify her body in the right order so she could heal without crashing. But we didn't focus just on the physical. We also addressed the emotional, spiritual, and environmental pieces. We created a space where her body could actually rest, repair, and rebuild. Let me explain further using this series of diagrams that I created. So at this point, you might be thinking, what is this Discover Health method? Well, my wife and I actually started this company. And just as a little bit of background on us, we are both trained as chiropractors. We met in chiropractic school and we begun our practice in Warrenton, Missouri. And over time, working with families more and more, we realized that we needed to have a bigger, more profound impact with the people that we were working with. And so we started looking into and learning about nutrition. We started learning about detoxification and supplements. And the more we learned, the more we found we needed to learn. And so we just kept diving in. And at the back of my mind, the entire time, my mission was to find things that would help my wife, help Ginger get well, get better. We tried supplement after supplement. We tried energy support, thyroid support. We tried this detox program. We tried so many things. We tried exercise. We tried all types of different things. But when we discovered this Discover Health method, which I'll explain in just a second, that's when things really started to change for us. So let me explain about the Discover Health method and why it works and what it is. So as I mentioned before in the video, there are these energy vampires that essentially drain your body of energy. These are things like toxins. These are things like heavy metals. It could be things like mold. It could be even things like stress or emotional trauma, stuff that your body has stored that is triggering a stress response over and over again. Smells or sounds or visions, things that you see could actually be triggering miniature stress responses in your body over and over again, draining you of your energy potential. Sometimes it's as simple as poor sleep or poor sleep routine, poor sleep hygiene. Sometimes it could be things like parasites or chronic infections or stealth infections, we'll call them, or bugs. We could just call it bugs. But anything that is there that is robbing your body of the ability to make ATP, or what another name for that would be your body's energy, what the fuel that your body uses to do its normal jobs. And whenever you have low energy, the cell's not able to keep up with doing its job, that's when things start to go into this unhealthy family cycle. And there's Bucky. We'll talk about Bucky in just a minute. But whenever you see, looking at the top left of this image here, decreased energy, we don't feel like exercising. And when we don't feel like exercising, we lose out on endorphin production. We lose out on circulation. We lose out on respiration. We lose out on so many things. And that can contribute to poor mood. And when we don't feel good and we're not in a good mood, unfortunately, it could put strain on our relationships. When we have strain on our relationships, that stress can contribute to poor sleep. Poor sleep could contribute to increased tech dependency. Maybe you stay up all night binge watching a show just so you can numb out the feelings, or maybe you are on your phone scrolling through things so often because you don't want to have to think or communicate because you know it could lead to a fight or something like that. Whenever you have increased tech dependency, maybe you have poor diet motivation. Maybe you're watching fast food commercials all the time. Maybe you're watching food delivery commercials all the time. Or maybe you're just so stressed out and so tired that you're looking to satisfy food cravings, just filling your body with quote unquote comfort foods. And you don't feel like cooking and preparing meals at home for your family. Then as you have poor diet motivation and poor diet, that increases stress levels in your body, increases stress hormones in your body. It increases stress hormones in your body, which contributes to decreased energy. And as you can see, this cycle spins and spins and spins. Now, what's interesting about a cycle like this is it could start anywhere. It could start simply with poor sleep. Maybe you have poor sleep hygiene, and that could contribute to the decreased energy, which could spin the cycle. Or maybe you have this, maybe your diet isn't what it should be. And so any of these things could contribute. But the idea here is that this decreased energy, when your body isn't able to keep up with its normal demands, it's not able to do the things it was designed to do. It's not able to detoxify. It's not able to heal. It's not able to rebuild. It's not able to exercise. The brain doesn't function like it should. So how do we get from this unhealthy family cycle here where we've got energy vampires, where we've got Bucky unhappy, and we'll talk about Bucky in just a second. How do we go from here to what I call the healthy family cycle? When you have good cellular energy production, you're feeling better, you have an increased desire to exercise. When you exercise and move, you get endorphins, you feel better. When you feel better, it's easier to have better relationships. It's easier to be less irritable, and so you communicate better. When you have better relationships and you're exercising, you get better sleep. And when you sleep better, you have less tech dependency. When you have less tech dependency, maybe you have better motivation to improve your diet and keep eating well. Whenever you keep eating well and whenever you have less tech dependency, you'll have lower stress. And then when your stress levels are lower, you'll have more energy. And so as you can see, what was the downward spiral of the unhealthy family cycle can also be a positive snowball effect if you get this cycle spinning in the right direction. But it depends so much on energy production inside of the cell. So what is the Discover Health method? Well, the Discover Health method is actually addition by subtraction. And so that's how Ginger went from over here on the left, who used to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I just wrote, I'm tired of being tired to fit it in the bubble. But we always used to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It came to a boiling point. It came to a head when we were on a trip together and we were bumping heads. She was irritable, but she was exhausted and tired. And she wanted to do the things and hike in the mountains and do the fun things in Colorado on our trip, but she couldn't do it. She physically couldn't do it. And so the lack of energy to do these simple things was stressing her out. And at that point, we realized, okay, there's something wrong and we need to find an answer. And so we used the Discover Health method, which I'll talk more about in just a second, to help her get from I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired to I feel like me again. And we use the Discover Health method in my program called the Gut Rescue Odyssey, or the GROW program. So let's talk a little bit about the Discover Health method. So here's Bucky, and Bucky is our body energy bucket. And so Bucky is our body stress bucket, we'll call him. And Bucky is designed to be able to handle normal amounts of stress, whether that's physical stress, emotional stress, whether that's chemical stress from toxins. Bucky's able to handle certain amounts of stress from bugs and things from our environment that we breathe in, that might be in our food, that might be get into our bodies somehow. Bucky's able to handle a certain amount of that. And Bucky can still function and be happy. He can take in these toxins and this waste, and he can drain them out effectively and contain them effectively. But over time, as we fill the bucket up, but we aren't doing anything to help contain it or to help our body detoxify or get these things out, that begins to build up. And Bucky's little bucket there, it starts to fill up with stress, with toxins, with bugs, other types of stressors that affect our cellular energy production. And over time, as that body stress bucket fills up with toxins, with stress, with bugs, with emotional trauma, whatever those things are, it starts to spill over. And whenever we get this spillover, that's when symptoms start to show up. That's when we start to get headaches, or that's when we start to get, maybe we'll get constipated, or maybe we'll get bloating, or maybe we'll get irritability. Maybe we'll see changes in hormone levels, hormone imbalances, or maybe we could see things like aches and pains. Maybe we could see things like just simple things like fatigue, like I don't really feel like doing X, Y, or Z, or I'm in a bad mood today and I don't really know why. These could be symptoms that your body stress bucket is overfull. It's overflowing. Your body is not able to keep up with the demand. And so as that body stress bucket gets more and more full and overflows, eventually it springs a leak. And when it springs a leak, that's when the more severe symptoms start to show up. We're losing sleep. We have poor energy production. This is where we get maybe leaky gut. And with leaky gut comes chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation and leaky gut can contribute to so many different things. Everything from autoimmune flares to allergies to low energy to so many different things. But chronic inflammation, low ability to heal, elevated stress hormones, you're irritable. This is the tipping point right here. And Bucky is so sad. And Bucky wonders, how can I be me again? How could I be like old Bucky? Well, one of the things that we employ is Cellcore Biosciences Roadmap to Health. And this is a process that really changed a lot for us. This is about detoxifying in order, in a proper order. And so the idea here is that, yes, detoxification is important, but what you detoxify and when you detoxify it are actually more important than detoxifying itself. And so doing things in the proper order made all the difference for us in terms of supplements, in terms of getting some of those toxins out of the body. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, really. It did help get the ball rolling in the right direction. And so this is something that has been very, very powerful. It was very powerful in our chiropractic practice. It was very powerful in our lives. But we started employing this in our office years ago, probably in 2017. And it really helped turn things around for so many patients, so many difficult cases. But it's really just the tip of the iceberg. What we started discovering is there's so many other factors, as I mentioned before. If we go back to our body stress bucket, we can see that stress, EMF, we can see that trauma, this could be emotional trauma, it could be physical trauma, exercise. These are things that are not at all addressed by just taking a supplement, by just doing a detox program. And those are the factors that need to be addressed at the proper time and in the proper order. And so if you're over here like Bucky and you're feeling like, how can I be me again? I just want to get back to being me, full of energy. I just want to get back to doing the things that I love. Maybe you're someone who would say something like, I'm so tired of waking up exhausted, dragging through the day, and barely making it to bedtime. Or maybe you're the mom that says, I want to be the mom who actually enjoys spending time with my kids, not the one who's too tired, too overwhelmed, or too impatient to be present with them. Or maybe you're the mom who says, I just want the freedom to do things I love with my kids, reading together, going on nature walks, baking in the kitchen, without exhaustion, stealing those moments from me. And I remember my wife, again, homeschooling from the floor, but oftentimes I would come home from work and I would, see the kids and say, well, where's your mom? And they would say, she's in bed again. And it was so common that we would find her in bed. She just felt like she could never get enough sleep, could never catch up on her sleep. We would try to get her to do things with us, and it was, you could tell she wanted to do the things, but she wasn't able to do it. Or she knew that if she did the things, something active like going on a hike, like playing, like running around, she knew that she was going to have to pay a heavy toll, taking days and days to get over that and recover. And so she didn't want to do those things because it was too painful, too difficult for her. But now, thankfully, thanks to using the Discover Health method, thanks to the GROW program, things are so much different. We can go rock climbing together as a family, something that we couldn't have dreamt about before. And the next day she's up and ready to go to exercise class. She's exercising multiple times a week, something that was impossible before. And praise the Lord, now that's something that we have been doing for a long time, doing multiple exercise classes a week, minimum 3 times a week together. And it's something we love to do together. And that's had a positive effect on our relationship. It's amazing to watch her cooking and doing things in the kitchen. Before, it was always a struggle and a strain. And so often I remember her just going to get fast food, but now things are so much different. And we're so thankful that we have found this process, and it's something that we really would love to share with anyone that it might help. Now you've got 2 options. Option A, you can go it alone. The DIY method. You can try to figure this out on your own. You can read the books, watch the videos, attend the conferences, try different supplements. But how many of those half-used bottles are already collecting dust in your cabinet? Or option B, you can follow a proven path with the support and guidance you need to actually take action and get results. That's what the Discover Health method offers. Not DIY, not done for you, but done with you. Coaching, tools, and a personalized plan. Because 9 times out of 10, people who go it alone without the coaching never get where they want to be. I have to admit, this isn't for everyone. It's for the moms, the couples, the families who are ready to make a change. Those that are tired of just surviving, and those that are ready to start thriving. So if you're ready to finally figure out what's been draining you of your energy, to stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward, schedule your free discovery call now. Let's talk about your story and see if the Discover Health method is a good fit for you. Why schedule a discovery call? Because what if? What if we could help you pinpoint where to focus your energy? What if you could finally feel like you again? What would that do for your life, your family, your future? Let's find out. together. Schedule your free discovery call now. And here's what could happen next. If you're accepted into the program, on your one-on-one onboarding call, we'll use that time to map out exactly where you are right now with your health and where you want to be. Then we'll show you the exact Discover Health Method roadmap that's part of the Gut Rescue Odyssey or GROW program that's helped so many people reclaim their energy, digestion, sleep, and peace of mind. You'll get direct access to me through our secure Practice Better app. That means you can reach out with questions or concerns without having to wait for a 3-week appointment lead time. You'll also get weekly live Q&A sessions on Zoom, so you're never left stuck or confused. No more 15-minute rushed doctor visits. No more taking off work to schedule appointments. No waiting rooms, just real support from the comfort of your home. Plus, you'll be surrounded by a community of people who get it, people who are walking the same path and who will cheer you on when things get hard. That support can make all the difference. In fact, a study from Johns Hopkins found that people doing a group health program actually got better results than those doing the exact same program one-on-one. Why? Because healing is easier when you're not doing it alone. So you've got a choice. You can try to figure this out all by yourself, or you can do it with someone who's been there with a proven plan and a whole community behind you. Click the link below this video to schedule your free discovery call. What if this was the turning point in your health story? We're ready when you are.